I want to tell you about a thought that stops many people. The thought sounds like this: it is too late for me. Maybe you have thought this about your English. I am too old to learn. I should have started when I was younger. Other people started at 15, at 18, at 20. I am 28, 32, 40. It is too late now. Or maybe the thought sounds different. I have wasted too much time already. I have started and stopped so many times. It is too late to try again. This thought feels very reasonable, very realistic, very mature, but it is wrong. It is almost always wrong. The people who believe it is too late stop. They close the door. They accept a smaller version of their life than they deserved. The people who do not believe it start or start again at whatever age, at whatever stage, from wherever they are. And they discover, often surprisingly quickly, that it was never too late. Today's story is about a man named Bassem. Bassem was 38 years old when he decided to start learning English seriously. Everyone around him, kindly, practically, told him it was too late. He did not believe them. This is his story. Meet Bassem. Bassem was 38 years old. He owned a small plumbing business. He had built it himself over 15 years, starting as a young assistant, learning the trade, saving money, eventually becoming his own boss. He had 6 employees now. The business was stable and respected in his neighborhood. He was a practical man. He worked with his hands. He solved problems. He was good at what he did. But Bassem had a quiet wish that had followed him for years. He wished he could speak English, not for any specific professional reason. His business was entirely local, but for life, for travel, for the ability to watch a film without subtitles and understand every word, for the feeling of being connected to a larger world, for his children, 2 boys, 8 and 10, who were learning English at school and would one day need a father who could help them. He had tried to learn English twice before. The first time, 15 years ago, when he was 23. He had joined a class that met twice a week. He had attended for 6 weeks. Then a big job had come in, and the classes fell away, and he never went back. The second time, 8 years ago, he had bought a course. He had completed 4 lessons. The course sat on a shelf after that. Now he was 38. His hair had some gray in it. His hands were strong and calloused from years of work. And the wish was still there, quiet, patient, persistent. He mentioned it one evening to his wife. She looked at him warmly. "Then start," she said. "I am 38, he said. She looked at him for a moment. "And next year you will be 39, she said. "You will be 39 whether you learn English or not." He did not answer, but he thought about those words for 3 days, what his son said. On the third day, his older son, 10-year-old Kareem, came home from school with an English worksheet. He sat at the kitchen table working on it. Bassem sat nearby with his tea. Kareem looked up. "Baba, what does perseverance mean?" Bassem looked at the word. He did not know it. He felt the familiar feeling, the small shame of a father who could not help his son with something the son was learning at 10 years old. "Look it up," he said quietly. Kareem looked it up on his tablet. He read the definition out loud. Uh, Perseverance, continuing to do something even when it is difficult. Bassem looked at his tea. Continuing to do something even when it is difficult. He put his cup down. He went to his room. He opened his phone. He found a free English learning app. He created an account. He did the first lesson, 15 minutes, basic vocabulary, simple phrases. He went back to the kitchen. Kareem was still at the table. "I started learning English today," Bassem said. Kareem looked up at him. "Really, Baba?" "Really," said Bassem. Kareem smiled. A wide, surprised, genuinely happy smile. That smile, Bassem would think later, was worth more than any certificate. Lesson 1, starting at 38. The next morning, Bassem woke up at 5:30, earlier than usual. He made tea. He sat at the kitchen table before anyone else was awake. He opened the app. 20 minutes of English before the day began, before the phone calls from clients and the schedule of jobs and the noise of a busy working life. 20 minutes. Just his. He felt slightly foolish at first. A 38-year-old man learning words that children learned at school. Basic vocabulary, simple sentences. But he kept going because his wife had said something true. He would be 39 whether he learned English or not, and 40, and 45. Time would pass regardless. The only question was, what would he do with that time? After 2 weeks, he mentioned to a friend, a man his age who had a shop nearby, that he was learning English. His friend laughed, not cruelly, just with the casual skepticism of someone who found the idea slightly impractical. At our age, he said, your brain is not like a young person's brain anymore. It is harder to learn languages when you are older. Bassem looked at him. Maybe, he said, but it is not impossible. He went home and did his 20 minutes. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. It is never too late to begin learning. I will be older next year whether I learn or not. I wake up early and I study before the day begins. Starting at 38 is better than not starting at all. Harder is not the same as impossible. I feel foolish sometimes. I keep going anyway. Time passes regardless. I choose what to do with it. Lesson 2. Slower but real. Bassem's friend was not completely wrong. Learning at 38 was different from learning at 18. New words did not stick as quickly. He had to repeat things more times before they became natural. Some mornings he reviewed vocabulary he had studied the week before and found it had faded. It was slower. He accepted that. But slower did not mean nothing was happening. After 1 month, he could introduce himself in English clearly, without hesitation, his name, his work, his city, his family, simple things. After 2 months, he could understand simple English videos if people spoke clearly. Not everything, but much more than before. After 3 months, his son Kareem started coming to sit with him during his morning study sessions. Not every morning, but sometimes. The two of them, father and son, at the kitchen table at 5:30 in the morning, working on English together. Bassem had not planned this. It had just happened. One morning, Kareem said, without looking up from his own worksheet, Baba, your English is getting good. Bassem looked at him. Slowly, he said. Slowly is okay, said Kareem. He said it simply, like an obvious fact. Bassem thought, my 10-year-old son is wiser than my friend with the shop. He wrote in his notebook, slowly is okay. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. Slower progress is still real progress. I repeat things more times, and that is okay. After 1 month, I can introduce myself in English. After 3 months, my son studies with me in the morning. Slowly is okay. Slow and real beats fast and abandoned. I measure my progress from my own starting point. My 10-year-old son is right. Slowly is okay. Lesson 3. The journey, not the destination. 6 months into his morning study sessions, Bassem went on a short trip. 3 days in a coastal city, 4 hours away. He took his wife and the two boys, a small family holiday. In the city, they visited a large market, a busy, beautiful place full of tourists from many countries. A couple stopped near Bassem and his family, clearly lost, looking at a map on their phone, speaking to each other in English with worried expressions. The man looked up and caught Bassem's eye. In English, he said, excuse me, do you know where the old port is? 6 months ago, Bassem would have shaken his head, smiled apologetically, moved on. This time, he understood the question. He thought for a moment. He knew where the old port was. He had looked at a map of the city before arriving. He answered, slowly, simply, yes. You go straight. Then you turn left at the big fountain, maybe 10 minutes walking. The man's face relaxed. Thank you so much. You are welcome, said Bassem. The couple walked away. Kareem looked up at his father with wide eyes. Baba, you spoke English. A little, said Bassem, but he was smiling, a quiet, private, genuinely happy smile. 6 months of 5:30 mornings, 6 months of slow, sometimes frustrating, always consistent practice, and here, in a market in a coastal city, it had worked. In a real moment, with a real person who had needed help and received it. That was what the 20 minutes every morning had been building toward. Not a certificate, not a test score, just this. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 6 months of daily practice works in real moments. I understand the question and I answer it simply and clearly. Real English is used in real moments with real people. A small, real conversation is worth more than any test score. I helped someone today with the English I built slowly. My son looks at me with wide eyes. That is everything. The 20 minutes every morning built this moment. Lesson 4. 1 year later. 1 year after that first evening with the English app, Bassem sat at the kitchen table at 5:30 in the morning. Kareem was beside him. They both had their notebooks open. This had become a ritual. 3 or 4 mornings a week, father and son at the table before sunrise. Bassem with his English app and his notebook, Kareem with his school English exercises. Sometimes they helped each other. Bassem's English after 1 year was not perfect. He knew that. He had a strong accent. His grammar had gaps. He spoke more slowly than a native speaker. But he could have a real conversation. He could watch an English video and understand most of it. He could read a simple English article without stopping every sentence. He could help Kareem with his school English. Not everything, but many things. And he had not missed a single morning in the past 3 months. He thought about the friend with the shop, about at our age, the brain is not like a young person's. He thought about the 2 previous attempts, the class he had left, the course on the shelf. He thought about his wife. You will be 39 whether you learn English or not. He thought about Kareem reading the word perseverance out loud at the kitchen table, continuing to do something even when it is difficult. He looked at his son sitting beside him in the early morning, quiet. He thought, I did not start too late. I started exactly when I was ready, and ready had been 38 years old, and that was perfectly fine. Daily English sentences. Repeat after me. 1 year of daily effort builds something real and lasting. I did not start too late. I started when I was ready. My English has gaps and I keep going anyway. I sit with my son in the morning and we both grow. Perseverance means continuing even when it is difficult. 1 year ago, I thought it was too late. I was wrong. It is never too late. That is not a slogan. It is the truth. Final words. The right time is now. Bassem's story is simple. He was 38. He had tried twice before and stopped both times. People told him kindly, practically, that it was too late, that his brain was not like a young person's brain, that he should focus on other things. He started anyway, 20 minutes every morning, before work, before the noise of the day, before anyone else was awake. And 1 year later, a real conversation in a market. A son who sat beside him at the table, a version of himself that was more connected, more capable, more quietly proud than the version who had sat with his tea one evening wondering if it was too late. It was not too late. It never is. Maybe you are listening now and you have the same thought. I am too old. I should have started earlier. I have wasted too much time already. It is too late for me. I want to say this simply and clearly. You will be older next year, whether you learn English or not. The time will pass. It always does. The only question is what you do with it. Start today. 20 minutes before the minutes, before the excuses arrive, before the excuses arrive, before the thought has time to talk you out of it. Because the right time to start is never the perfect moment. The right time is now. Whatever age you are, whatever stage you are at, whatever attempts you have made and abandoned before, now. See you in the next one. Stay calm, stay consistent, and remember, it is never too late.